Good Tuesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. On behalf of Weigel's, fuel and food that's fast, fresh, and friendly, here's your East Tennessee weather update. But first I want to talk about camping for a second, because I want to get a show of comments and hands. How many of you have been camping this summer in the Smokies? If you've been with the kiddos, with the family, maybe you've enjoyed it, maybe you're doing a trip right now, maybe there's a good chance that you've had some s'mores in your belongings. Maybe you've had some marshmallows, maybe you've had some graham crackers and some chocolate. Well, I point this out because the question is, s'mores anyone? Don't you know that Weigel's now has a brand new milk called S'mores Milk, and it's available only for a limited time. Check it out at a Weigel's near you. It is rich and creamy, and it's a nostalgic flavor of marshmallows, graham crackers, and chocolate in every sip. Grab a Weigel's S'mores Milk bottle, pick it up today. It's delicious, it's yummy, and again, it's available for a limited time. I point out Weigel's because it's just better when it's fresh, farm to store in 24, and it's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. Who would argue with that? Also, they have the truly dynamic duo called peanut butter chocolate milk that's on the shelf all the time. Want to bring you up to speed the crazy weather we had yesterday. I wouldn't say it's completely gone, but let's take a look at the radar. Most of what we see right now are these green boxes, which refer to flood advisories. Now, that is an improvement over the flash flood warnings, which is a higher grade, as it were. But I just want to point out some of these towns and counties, like Blount County, till 8:30. So a flood advisory continues here. Down toward McMinn County till 7:30. Other parts of Monroe County till 8. Morristown, areas in Hamlin County till 8:15. Flood concerns in Greene County till 8:15. And further east toward the Tri-Cities, where they had some tornado warnings last night. The preliminary reports do not show a tornado, but I am confident they will be doing some investigating today, so we'll get more intel from that as the morning wears on. But it's interesting to note, all the rain you see is primarily what, south and east? And I go back 2 hours for your convenience to see the burgundy colors. That's the flash flood warnings. They have expired in the last 2 hours. All those burgundy areas are not tornado warnings, but flash flood warnings that were in effect for parts of Hamlin County, perhaps into Cock County as well, just in the last couple of hours. But that's improving, and I got to tell you, the big story today will be the drop in the humidity, because the showers will not characterize the whole day, just the early morning hours, and obviously it's mainly south and east as far as the rain. Visibility right now down to a mile, and you can see 10 miles in Knoxville, 9 miles in LaFayette. The visibility maybe not as reduced as it's been this previous part of the week. And currently we're at 73 degrees in Knoxville, 75 Chattanooga, and 67 in Jackson. We're going to wake up tomorrow morning about 10 or 11 degrees cooler tomorrow morning than we are right now, which is a real bonus given the fact that humidity has been a factor for many days here, it seems like, on end this particular summer. What about 90-degree days? I'm going to explore that in a moment, but I'm populating a couple of the numbers that are not showing up, and that's Tellico Plains and Jonesville at 71 and Athens at 74. I want to say good morning to you. I am not only on Facebook, but I'm also on YouTube, so if you have a YouTube question, some of you may be joining me now, getting a notification, hey, he's live. I'm doing both at the same time. I'm multitasking. But if you have a question, I'd love to answer it here. I can switch my tabs and quickly check to see how we're doing on Facebook. Fred says, good morning, David. Bad lightning and thunder last night. It was. But you have made it to almost the finish line. There's still some raindrops in there. In fact, I've done some checking. We picked up 0.37 inches of rain yesterday and 0.58 this morning since midnight. That brings us to a grand total at McGee-Tyson of 0.95. So we've had nearly another inch, bringing us to the monthly total of 5.80. We've had almost 6 inches of rain in August. This is not your typical August, because you usually see about 3.5. We're already almost up to 6. Denise says, good morning. Those storms were wild. Lightning was crazy. I agree with Denise. And Wanda Poe says, sure was a lot of storms came by during the night, lots of thunder, and it got me awake. I'm sorry to have to hear that, but I know that things will get better, as we're going to see some big improvement later today as the humidity begins to drop. 73, current temperature out the door in Knoxville. Good morning to you. If you're headed to school or work this morning, it's sticky. Yeah, we got dew points in the low 70s, so this weatherman saying it's going to be less humid, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, give me till about 9 o'clock tonight. 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock tonight might very well be the finish line, and I can demonstrate what that looks like graphically with my next slide. So if our dew points are in the low 70s, it feels like the swamp, feels like the jungle, you feel oppressed, you feel like the air is so thick, as I sweat, I don't even cool down. I agree, that's typically what you get when you get low 70s, and that corresponds with the green on this map. tracking the humidity. 7:30, that's 45 minutes from now. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. But by midday, might start to wane a little bit in southeast Kentucky, and maybe even more by 5 o'clock today as the shades of green have gotten a little lighter. But by the time we hit 9, 10, 11 o'clock, you step outside and you go, man, it feels good. Have you been outside? It's 11 o'clock. Have you been outside? It feels good out there. It feels really good. That's the conversation I imagine is going to be taking place in every county in East Tennessee. If you're up at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock tonight, there won't be any humidity. It will have vacated the premises and moved over towards Charlotte, Raleigh. It won't feel like summer is what I'm getting at. And look at that. 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're around 62 in Knoxville. There'll be some of you waking up into the upper 50s. Upper 50s. Is that normal? No, normal low is about 68. So you could be about 10 degrees if you're at 58, Oneida, La Follette, in those places. Places like the Plateau. You could be obviously a lot cooler, and the humidity factor. If you're sensitive, you're going to love the way tonight feels. You're going to love the way all day tomorrow feels. All day tomorrow, because there's really not a lot of green ooze at 8 o'clock Thursday. Even by 5 o'clock Thursday afternoon, it tries to come back, and maybe in muted form by Friday. And certainly this weekend we have another run toward the 90-degree mark. But speaking of 90s, look at these. Now, looky. Oh, don't you know this is not an average year? An average year would at least give us 1 day in May, 7 days June, 12 days July, and 10 days in August. And last I checked, it's the 15th of August. That means we're halfway through the month, essentially. So we should have 5 days. If I add that up, 10 days, half of that's 5, 12, 7, that's 25. We should have 25 days by now if this were a normal summer. But it's not been a normal summer. It's been a cooler than average summer. Despite all the headlines around the other parts of the country, Knoxville proper normally sees 34 days in a calendar year. We've had 0 in May, a measly 1 day in June, when we typically see a week. And we had only 9 days in July. And so far, 0. So wait a moment, it wasn't yesterday and night. Yesterday, 89. 89. Splitting hairs. Oak Ridge was 90. Turns out Oak Ridge hit 90, their low was 73, but Knoxville hit 89, so we can't count that into the 90-degree bucket. So we still have 0 for the month. And with today's high around 83 and tomorrow 81, we're not going to be anywhere catching up to near normal. Last year we had 41 days. It was above average. This year's going to be below average. It's the way it goes. It's how weather works. It ebbs and flows, much like the tide at the ocean. This is all coming by way, the data anyway, from the National Weather Service in Morristown. All right, it is 6:47. Want to get through some other key points, including tropics and severe weather around the country. But you'll notice 6:47 as we're live on Facebook and YouTube. Oh, he says he's on YouTube. I prove it. Show me you're on YouTube. I'm on YouTube too. I see there are 4 people watching now. But if you have a comment, anyone who's watching, let me know. And or subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is a fancy way of saying follow me. But follow me on YouTube, and I'd love to have if you like that platform, if that's more your style, let me know. I'm also watching some other comments from you on Facebook. Callie Robbins says, good morning. And everyone, she's talking to Denise. Mildred says, good morning from Dandridge, hoping all the storms are over. The worst is definitely over for sure. By the way, if you haven't picked up a bottle of the s'mores milk from Weigel's, it's delicious. Craving a campfire classic with a twist? Introducing Weigel's brand new s'mores milk. Weigel's delicious s'mores milk is a creamy concoction that combines the nostalgic flavors of marshmallows, graham crackers, and chocolate in every sip. It's delicious, and it's available for a limited time. It's just better when it's fresh, farm to store, and 24. It's just better with Tennessee cows, and I just point out my sponsor, Weigel's. It's a truly dynamic duo if you pick up the peanut butter chocolate milk, and it's just better with Weigel's. So love Weigel's. You can also pick up a hot cup of coffee. You can do that too anytime. If you're new to East Tennessee, they have a lot of things that you fill up your tank and head out the door. Wind speeds, they're light, but they're not all that strong. They'll be picking up 5 to 15, I think, for this afternoon. And you can see the clouds are beginning to thin out. So maybe there could be some still pockets of patches of fog, given all the rain that has fallen in the last 24 hours or so. This is the map over the last couple of hours, 6 hours in fact. You can see if you put the clouds on top, or really the rain on top of the clouds, you can see how active it's been right over East Tennessee. You notice it's like being on the receiving end of a fire hose. If you're in Bowling Green, you're like, there's nothing going on here. Or if you're in Atlanta, there's nothing going on here. But when you're on the receiving end of the fire hose, which we were last night, all the storms seemingly were only here, it seemed. 82 is my expectation today for Oak Ridge. Looking for a high today of 77 in Cumberland County. Good morning, Crossville. 78 Oneida, 83 in Newport, and 81 in Sevierville. So a lot going on, obviously, with what we are seeing temperature-wise. But again, normal high is about 88 this time of year. This is my expectation today. So in some cases, we saw the radar. Some might have a few showers going to school. But when you come back home this afternoon, the sun's popping out, the humidity's dropping, all is good with the world. Hopefully there's not a whole lot of homework in the book bag. You know how that goes. Maybe you do. If you have kids or grandkids, you know exactly. If they don't have a lot of homework, they're happy. A little bit of homework never hurts them, of course. 76 at 10, 81 at 2. As I mentioned, I expect temperatures about 83 this afternoon. By the way, allergies are going to be continuing to be on the rise. Talking about ragweed. Follow the continuum here. We have three-legged stool, trees, grass, and weeds, usually in that order. There is typically some overlap. Grasses typically set the world on fire from May 15th to June 15th, but not always. And if you are allergic to ragweed, it's just getting ramped up. It should reach its fever pitch around Labor Day. So if you're feeling a little under the weather, maybe it's the allergies, maybe it's the ragweed. Certainly rain helps, but we're now moving into a drier period of time, as you'll see in the 7 days. So that means I would imagine ragweed's going to get worse, and allergy sufferers are going to have something else to be concerned about rather than the storms that we had last night. What about the sunrise? It came up, will be coming up in 4 minutes. Ta-da-da! Magically, here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, 6:55. And then sunsets at 8:26 now. So hopefully, as you know, time is getting shorter. Days are getting shorter as we get closer toward fall. National Hurricane Center has 2 areas they're watching, 10%, 30%. One of them could become Emily, but that's a small chance, 10%. 30% maybe another one called Franklin, but right now we are still pretty low on the name list. We've had 4 storms, none of them really noteworthy, I would say. And I would say there was a storm probably before Arlene and the Memorial Day holiday that never got a name. That was probably more noteworthy, but that caused some issues on a cruise line. Carnival Cruise made national news from a storm that never had a name. Anyway, Emily, Franklin, and Gert are the next names on the list. So if you're concerned about dust, and there's a lot of dust coming off of Africa, and you might be wondering why, because the winds are stronger. The winds are stronger, it kicks up the dust. Have you ever been to the beach when there's a big squall comes up? It's like, I got sand in my eye, I got sand in my eye. See what I mean? The winds. It wasn't the beach, it was the winds that kicked. Well, you get the picture. So that's this picture. And look at Florida, for example. The future Sahara dust puts a lot of dust by Sunday this weekend in Florida. If you're headed to Florida, you might have some golden sunrises and sunsets, but there will be more dust in the air, which is, again, not uncommon. But when the winds pick up, they tend to move over the Atlantic with ease. Our hurricane season peaks, usually the 20th of August through the 10th of September. That is still yet before us. So don't be surprised if we see more storms heading into the end of this month. Rain fades today, turning less humid this afternoon and especially tonight. But it will be a delightful dry week ahead. The humidity will stay low essentially till the weekend. As I see, it will eventually get back and we'll feel like it's summer once again. But you have a couple of days that you have earned. It's like a badge of honor. You have earned some delightful low humid days still ahead starting this afternoon. 73 is our current temperature at 6:53. We have a southwest wind at 6 and relative humidity at 72%. I want to show you real quickly the precipitation chances over the next 7 days. I got 30% chance this morning and then 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Are you saying it's not going to rain? That's exactly what I'm saying. And by the time we get to about what day? By the time we get Sunday, Monday, some of you, not all of you, but there'll be a handful of you who say, do we have any rain in the forecast? We need some rain. Some of you might think of that. Right now, not a chance. You wouldn't say that at all. We've had so much rain as of late. But when you get a stretch of dry weather, suddenly everybody says, maybe my garden, my lawn could use a touch of rain. Good morning once again. I got Callie Robbins. She says, I love watching you on Facebook and Alco. She sent me some stars. Thank you. I put those to good use because the data I show you. I could pull out a white piece of paper, maybe a crayon, and say, this is your weather forecast. Wouldn't be as compelling. But having the data, of course, the data I'm talking about is this kind of data. This kind of helps, and I really appreciate the stars very much. Dennis Hatcher says, good morning, David, from a waterlogged Dandridge this morning. Well, looking forward to the lower humidity next couple of days. Absolutely enjoy it, Dennis. Dennis is one of my Facebook premium members. Want more information, go to CaptainAccurate.com. Would love to have you on there. Judy Kerr says, good morning from a drippy Rutledge. Wow, 2.5 inches. That's a lot of rain for Judy and a lot of us. Thank you, David, says Wanda Poe. Always begin keeping us updated and stay safe. And as I go back to YouTube, real briefly, I do have some notes. Cody LaRouche, also one of my premium members on Facebook, but he's currently on YouTube. Good morning, David. And Steve Stone, also one of my premium members. He loves YouTube. So glad to have the ability. I feel like I've had the ability. I just haven't used it. I haven't had that many subscribers on YouTube, but it's growing. I'm trying to expand the reach. Kind of like Dorothy from Wizard of Oz. I've been wearing the ruby slippers. I could have done streaming on both channels the whole time, but now I've figured it out. So I'm a little slow in the uptake, but hey, it's like my kids. They put up with me, and they understand. Dad understands. Dad will finally figure out how to do both. So we're doing both, and hopefully you're enjoying it as well. 6:55. My goal is to be done here in 5 minutes, and I think I can do it. If you were hoping for a day that was about 5 degrees below normal, well, today's your day, my friend. Because outside of the 30% chance of some showers south and east of Knoxville this morning, we're going to go from clouds to sunshine. Say it again, clouds to sunshine. And as the sun pops out, the humidity is going to go bye-bye. We're going to drop the humidity as the sun gets stronger in the sky today. So I'm really excited about today. I hope you are too. Storm Prediction Center, we've seen our fair share of scattered and severe storms, but most of it's now moving to the east. If you need more evidence, this is from the Storm Prediction Center. They are located in Norman, Oklahoma. I point them out. They are the PhDs in weather, and they do these maps each and every day. So I can show it to you graphically. Raleigh, Fayetteville, Greenville, Virginia Beach, even southern Delaware, and parts of the Jersey Shore are under scattered severe storms. So they might get the lion's share of severe weather today. Isolated severe will be south and east of Atlanta. Destin, Florida. Got family, kids, grandkids down there. They might have some rock and roll weather today in spots, and all the way up to Buffalo, New York. But back here, the only chance for thunder is shaded in light green, and you'll notice it's absent in Crossville, Wartburg, and La Follette. So we're basically saying goodbye to this system this morning. Now tomorrow, if you have family up here, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Duluth, scattered severe storms tomorrow just south of Thunder Bay. Not a whole lot here, still some run-of-the-mill thunderstorms in Charlotte, Raleigh, but here a delightful Wednesday. And did I say it's going to be great Thursday too? It's going to be great Thursday too. Boy, you're full of good news. I'm absolutely full of good news today. Detroit, Toledo, Flint, Pontiac, some areas, Grand Rapids, could find some isolated severe storms Thursday, but that's the map for Thursday. Some thunderstorms possible in the light green from D.C. to Philadelphia, New York City. But nothing here. Boy, is it going to be nice and sun-filled again on Thursday. So let's look at the futurecast. Look how this rain is trying to get out of here, right? Because we've been on the receiving end of the fireman's hose, as it were. 8 o'clock, it's focused here. By midday, most of it's in North Carolina. Maybe a residual shower northeast of Knoxville, based on this. But by 4 or 5 o'clock, even by the time you pick up kiddos this afternoon, it looks really nice. The sun's popping out. The humidity's dropping. It's wonderful. It's an absolute delight. From 11 o'clock tonight, you'll be hard-pressed to find hardly any humidity in the atmosphere. It's going to feel great. Then here comes Big Bubble, no trouble. Got lots of sunshine easing in West Tennessee tomorrow, and so we're going to keep this pattern really sweet as we head through time. It's now 6:58. We're going to be done here in 2 minutes, so hang with me. I'm going to get to the good part here, which is the forecast itself. But here's another look. I like to show you two models, but one's macro, one's micro. This is the micro look. So this is closer up. You can see your town. Perhaps. You definitely can see your county, and you can see the rain that's trying to work its way where? It's trying to move to the east. So I left a 30% chance this morning. By midday, it looks like this. By 1:30, there's still maybe some drizzle in the Morristown area in spots. But really, by the time we hit 2:30, kids picked up from school, it's a delightful, maybe a few scattered clouds, but just absolutely delightful heading into the second half of your Tuesday, which is today. And then by tomorrow, midday, we're a comfortable 75. I'm thinking lunch outside would be encouraged. By 5 o'clock, we're lucky to get to 81. Did you say 81? And the normal high is 88? Right. With no humidity? Oh, those are yummy days. These are gifts. Every day is a gift. You know that. I've said that before. I've said that many times. As you may know that every day is a gift. Tomorrow, you're going to be convinced that it is a gift because temperatures are going to be very, very on the low side. With comfort that we haven't had a whole lot of this summer, given the high humidity. All right, so for today, it's now 6:59. I'm finishing on time as I'm looking at some of the new comments that might be coming in from Cody and Steve over here on YouTube. And if you have a comment on Facebook, let me see if Michael Norman. He says he's late to the party. You're never late to the party. You're just fashionably
showing up or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, he says he's here. Glad to have him here. One of my premium members, as is Darcy Source. She says good morning. And Judy and Wanda. Got a lot of folks on here today. But thank you so much. 83 is my expectation today, as it's now 7 o'clock. Now, you might not get a storm, but you might get a passing shower, especially south and east this morning. That's why I left a 30% chance. And the winds could pick up 5 to 15, gusting perhaps to 20 for the parts of the afternoon. 82, my expectation from Talbot, Morristown, White Pine. 83 for Dandridge, Newport, Del Rio, Cosby, Parrottsville. Maryville, Alcoa, about 83. Kingston, Rockwood, 83. Crossville, 77, as well as Lake Tansy. 79 in Wartburg, 78, 09 to 81 in La Follette. And if you expand the view, we've got temperatures today in the low 80s, Nashville and Memphis. Isn't that funny? Memphis, Nashville, 81, and that's our high tomorrow. Exactly. Have you ever fished downstream? Look at that. Let's just fish downstream. Look at Nashville and Memphis and Jackson. All 81 today. That's coming here tomorrow. Ooh, yay. Some of you are like clapping. So it was like an eternal clap. Thrilled about that. Tonight, we're down to 62. Now, the next map's going to really delight you. Few clouds tonight. Less humid, maybe a touch of fog. Probably not much more than what you've seen this morning. 62. Are you sure about that? No, I actually want 58 for Wartburg. But I actually really want to say 58 for Crossville. And if you want to go to Middlesboro, they're at 57 in the morning. You're going to feel like it's suddenly it's crisp. It's not only cool, but crisp. This is a map that's just savor this map. This is tomorrow morning. If you're not up, if you sleep late, if you're perhaps retired and you have not a reason to get out of the house early tomorrow morning, you might say, boy, does it feel good out here. It feels good, y'all. It's going to feel fantastic. That's what I'm trying to say. So hopefully you'll seize the day, seize the morning, carpe morning tomorrow. All right, here's the Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee. 81 for Wednesday. That's the delightful day as well. 86 if we're lucky. Some may only hold about 84, 83 in some of the outlying areas of the valley on Thursday. That's okay. But gradually we'll get closer to 89 for Saturday. A little more humidity, a little more haze, and I think we're back in the 90s Sunday and Monday. And in fact, early next week does look hotter. As I've been talking about my premium members, we may see another hot spell. So don't just write off summer. I would say just seize the day. Enjoy these days, right? These days won't last forever, that's for sure. Speaking of what doesn't last forever, I had a great time yesterday. I was in Louisville before some of the nasty weather rolled in, and I got a chance to hang out with Maryville High School's tennis pro and teacher, Christian Burns, also one of my premium members. Had a great time yesterday. If you want to check out the pictures, I encourage you to do so. I took about 80 pictures of Louisville, not to be confused with Louisville, Kentucky, same spelling, different pronunciation, but it's a great town. Population about 4,500 or less, but I've done now 37 towns. Have you done that, Met? I have. That's what's amazing. If I didn't write them down, I wouldn't remember them all. But they're all there. Every town's got about 75 to 80 photos online. You just have to click my hashtag. You'll see them all. Love to have you check them out. I started this adventure last October with Seymour, Bean Station, Talbot. My premium members vote each week as to where I might go. Because I don't pick where I'm going to go. I let them decide. I'll let them tell me. We do a little subscriber poll, and it's kind of cool, so check it out. Just go to CaptainAccurate.com to learn more about the process, but I'd love to have you join us. By the way, if you haven't picked up a bottle of the S'mores milk, this is, again, only here for a limited time. It is yummy, it is rich, it is creamy, and it might be a treat as you pick up the kids from school. Just stop by Weigel's on the way home and grab a bottle. In fact, pick up 2 bottles. Grab the small bottle and the large bottle. It is delicious, and it's just like one of the many flavored creations that they have now on the shelf. It's just better when it's fresh, farm to store in 24. It's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. And I loved the peanut butter chocolate milk. It may have been what started it all, but it was available for just a limited time. But because the audience loved it so much, Weigel's made it a permanent fixture. So you gotta love Weigel's. They've been around since 1931, and they're a great partner to Captain Accurate Weather. So when you go to Weigel's, tell them Captain Accurate sent you. I appreciate that very much. Anyway, my name is David Aldrich. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. I'll see you here next time. Take care.